Holding from your hands on your lap or in your heart. And for this time, just set it aside. And let's just take another deep breath into our heart space. Holding it just for a moment. And let out a sigh. I am inspired from on high. Jesus, in utmost simplicity, proclaimed in the ecstasy of his illumination, I and the Father are one. What do you suppose would happen if you believed his declaration, not as a mere intellectual concept, but with deep inward feeling and an expanding sense of its meaning? Would you not sell all that you possess for this single pearl of utmost worth? This drop of water taken from the ocean of being, this mountaintop of revelation. If the wisest person who ever lived and proclaimed this truth, should you not accept it? Simply, directly, sincerely? Perhaps what Jesus taught seems too good to be true, and yet all nature is a living example, a continuous reminder that there is a spirit animating everything, a presence diffused, a law governing, a unity sustaining, a coordinating will binding all of us together, a unifying principle holding everything in place. So I invite you in your heart to take these words in. I cleanse the windows of my mind that it may become a mirror reflecting inspiration from the Most High. Today I walk in the pathway of inspiration. There is an inspiration within me that governs every act, every thought, with certainty, with conviction, and in peace. The key that unlocks the treasure of the kingdom of good is in my hand. I unlock the doorway of my consciousness and gently open it, that the divine presence may flood my whole being with light, illumine my being with its radiant glow, and direct my footsteps onto the pathway of peace and joy. And so we take these words of living water into the silence. So as we go forward for the next half an hour or so, I invite you to focus on your breathing, to remind yourself to take nice, deep breaths into your heart space, to stay focused on that. And whenever your mind wanders, which it will, to gently guide yourself back to your holy breath. Stay tethered to this breathing. Stay tethered to the breath of God. As we affirm that where two or more are joined, there I am in the midst. Where two or more are joined, there I am in the midst. I and the Father are one. And it is so. And so we come back into this time and back into this space, this holy sanctuary. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Whew. Let's just stand up for a minute. Bring your hands into prayer or namaste position. Place your feet like hip distance apart. Now just visualize there's a thread or a string or a rope coming out of the crown of your head, pulling your spine up, lengthening it, placing a gap between every vertebrae. Let's take a nice deep breath in. Inhale, bring your arms up, reach up, reach up, reach up to heaven. And exhale down and come back. I bow to the Christ that you are. And I affirm you and see you. I see your light. I see every one of you. And I'm so grateful to be a part of this movement, this expansion of divinity in this room, in this ministry, Unity Center of Stockton, where it takes every single one of us. And I am grateful. Namaste. Sit down. So, have you ever had a situation where you're holding two opposing things, one that is supposed to make you so sad, but at the same time there's this energy running in the back because you've built it up and it's there no matter what the storms come through. And I'm talking about the energy of the Christ consciousness, the unity consciousness, and it is the color of orange, and it's zeal and enthusiasm and joy. And I believe with all my heart that within the last 2 weeks, that our collective consciousness on the planet has made a leap. A tipping point that we've been praying for has happened. It's happening now. Joy is overcoming hate. Love is overcoming fear. And us in unity, those that practice these unity principles and a lot of other new thoughts have been praying for this and practicing it for years, hundreds of years. I don't know if you guys have read this book by David Hawkins, Power versus Strength, or is that the way it goes? Strength? Force, Power versus Force. I've read it from cover to cover a few times, but I like to go back to it sometimes, and it's so interesting. If you want to look at all of this as science, it's a great book. And one of the tools that is used is kinesiology, how do you say it? Yeah, muscle testing. And it talks about using two people, like if something is true, the body holds strong. You can do it by yourself by just making a circle. And if it holds, the circle holds strong, whatever you're asking, yes or no, or if you make a true statement, or say if you say the name Abraham Lincoln, it's strong. If you say an opposite person to that, it will go weak. They say there's been scientific studies that if you do the name Adolf Hitler, it will go no matter if you love him, it will not stay strong. I don't know why I went off on that tangent, other than it's scientific. And in his book, which is a pretty old book, before 1980, the collective consciousness, anything under the scale of consciousness under 200 goes into fear. 200 is fear, or just below 200 of the scale of consciousness is fear. Apathy, hatred, all of those things are under the scale of 200. In 1980, humanity went above 200. And on an average, the average human, after 1980, the average was the scale of consciousness was about 204, which gives promise for our evolution. They say that any of the population that lives under that scale of consciousness, under the hundreds and lower that, it's poverty level, just a lot of despair and apathy and hatred, and people that have no say in their life, and dictatorship. All of these things are way low. So in the 1980s, which has been a long time ago, we rose above 200. I believe in the last 2 weeks we've taken another leap. And if we muscle test that, I think it would come out to be true. So my talk this week is called "You Are the Face of Christ." And we could take the word Christ and say, you are the face of love. You are the face of power. You are the face of human kindness in the world. And today is the tipping point. Today is your point of power. And you can say, well, there's so much going on in the world. How can I help? Who are you not to help? And so I have this poem, and it's one of my favorites. It was, some people think it was written by Nelson Mandela, but it was written by our own Unity minister, Marianne Williamson. It's called Our Deepest Fear. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine, as children do. We are born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us all. And it's not in just some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. I think that's so important. We think that, we can help our neighbor And that's a small thing, but it's a ripple effect. It's a ripple effect, and it goes out into the world. They say a sneeze affects the planet on the other side. So this energy of excitement and hope and joy, it is the energy, the golden light energy of the Christ consciousness that is spreading and growing and taking dominion on the planet right now. And we in Unity have a guide on how to practice that, and it's our Unity principles. And if your actions, no matter what your actions are, if they're guided by principles that you believe in and that are true and strong and love-based, your actions in the world are magnified thousands of times. And so our Unity principles guide our decisions, guide our actions in the world. And I know that I talk about them all the time, but I'm going to give you guys some homework this week. I want you to memorize the 5 Unity principles. It's time that you embody them, not just hear me talk about them and think, oh my God, we're going to talk about the Unity principles again. They're powerful. And if they're embodied, then every action you take stems from the goodness of God, the goodness of being friends with God, being aligned with Spirit, being aligned with the highest promise that you made yourself when you came here. We had the highest intentions. And I am full of joy today. On this hand, I'm full of joy. It's my basic ground. It's the ground I stand on. And all the storms that are coming through, they can't touch that innate foundation of joy. And things have happened. I know you guys think, oh my God, she's going to say something else terrible. Something else terrible happened, a tragedy, another tragedy happened in my life this week. My wonderful, beautiful, precious nephew died Tuesday. But you know what? He was here and he lived these principles. He didn't know what they were. He didn't know what Unity principles were, but he knew that love was the principle that he lived by. And he did good. He lived his life being a good person, taking care of my mom, his grandmother, who was his step-grandmother. He didn't have to take care of her, but he was right by my side, going out to her house, helping her, being there for her. Talked to his mother every single day of his life. Every morning he called his mom. He was a wonderful son and a wonderful person. And he would want me to be joyful that he lived and that he is not suffering and he's having a hell of a party on the other side right now. They're all partying. We're the sad ones. He's partying. He has no more sick body, no more cancer, no more struggles. He's just his love expanded into the universe. It's everywhere now. And I understand now why people want to be mediums. When in 2 months, 5 people from my soul family, I believe that we have soul families, soul groups, and then we come together and we learn here on the planet, and then you go back to your larger soul family at home. These were 5 people all in my soul family in 2 months. I'm like, okay, so there's got to be some joy. There's got to be some higher purpose in losing 5 people in 8 weeks. And what it has taught me is that this is precious time here, people. This is not time to take anyone that you love for granted. It is not time for, you're a soldier here on this, a soldier of love, a soldier of Christ, a soldier of peace, a soldier of goodness. And you're so up for it. You're so equipped. You have every single thing you need. We have to leave this planet at a higher level of frequency for our children, for our grandbabies, that are coming, for our children that are just trying to make it in this world. We got to make it a safe and loving, good place. And each one of us has the power to do that. Each person you touch touches the next person who touches the next person who touches the next person. With your Christ light, with your energy, with your love, with your goodness, with your joy. With your joy. It's who you are. And it starts with yourself. It starts with the center. It starts with how you talk to yourself, how you treat yourself. The choices that you make in your stream of consciousness from the minute you become awake in the morning till you lay your head down at night, you're presented with choices. You're presented with ways to be of service to you, to your body, to your health, to your well-being, to all of those in your home, to your animals, to your neighbors, to stand up for what is good and right. And sometimes it may seem like you're butting in or you're too involved. If you went, and a lot of you I'm friends with on Facebook right now, a lot of it on my page is not just, usually it's just spirituality. Usually it's just love. Now I'm campaigning for goodness. I'm campaigning for righteousness. I'm campaigning for my grandchildren. I'm not campaigning for hate. I'm not saying anything hateful. I'm not being hateful, and I won't put up with hatefulness. But I am standing up for what I want. And I encourage all of us to do that. Stand up for the light, stand up for the goodness, stand up for your children and grandchildren. Stand up for goodness and love. What else? So the consciousness, the evolution of consciousness is at a tipping point. And you can see it everywhere in the world now. It's okay to be an American again. It's okay, because goodness is prevailing. In the end, nothing we say or do in this lifetime will matter as much as we have loved one another. Nothing. It's the only thing you take with you. And loving kindness. Loving kindness. It just sounds kind of hokey, right? Loving kindness creates a chain reaction, and it is the currency of your heart. It is the currency of the heart. It is the highest intelligence. So I invite you this week to, number one, be kind to yourself. Do an inventory of where you're not kind to yourself. Where are you beating yourself up? Where are you judging yourself? Where are you holding regret and guilt? And let it go right now. All vows, all agreements, all layers of guilt and error that you are holding against yourself in this moment right now, in this evolution of consciousness, are all evaporated right now. There's a period right now at the end of all of that. There's a period at the end of your guilt. There's a period at the end of your regret. There's a period at the past. All vows you've taken. I don't care if you're married. All vows are broken. You can make new ones in this moment. It is a new day, a brand new day, and you are a sovereign being. You choose how you want to be from now on. All vows are broken. It's a new beginning. What do you choose? What do you choose? It's your choice. You're sovereign. I choose love. I choose love. What do you choose? It's up to you. Thank you.
I will never be the same again. I can never return. I've closed the door. I will walk the path. I'll run the race, and I will never be the same again. I will never be the same again. I can never return. I've closed the door. I will walk the path and I'll run the race. So I will never be the same again. Fall like fire, soak like rain, flow like mighty waters again and again. Creep away the darkness, burn away the chaff, and let a flame burn to glorify your name. There are higher heights, there are deeper seas. Whatever you need to do, God, do in me. The glory of God fills my life, and I will never be the same again. No, I will never be the same again. No, I will never be the same again.
Thank you, William. Thank you, Reverend Marianne. This is our offertory time, so if you would take what you would give today and hold it in your hands, we will bless it. So we hold these gifts and we bless them. So together, please. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
being a force of love in the world. And we are so grateful to be able to gather here together and to see that